The holiday of Purim tells the story of two brave Jews, Mordechai and Esther, and their heroic efforts to save their people from destruction at the hands of the evil Haman. And scholars, as many of you know, have employed a variety of analytical methods in order to derive deeper meanings from the text. They use numerology, they use eschatology, they use close reading, anything that they can do to figure out what is the text really trying to teach us. And as I sat down this year to look at that text, I came to the realization that the name Esther is more than just the name, but her name contains a very critical message that we all must remember as we look forward to celebrating Purim this year. And that message can be seen only if you examine her name closely, and you can see that her name is actually an acronym that stands for Entertaining Students Teachers Have Encountered Recently. So in that vein, we have assembled some of our favorite stories from our students this year. Please enjoy.
I'm kind of amazed and sometimes impressed by the sorts of excuses that students have come up with to explain their wrongdoing. I've had the trying to find a minute pocket on a pair of leggings to insist that they're not leggings.
We're asked often as math teachers, when are the tests going to be graded? My Math 6 honors class this year especially are really anxious about getting their test grades back. So I'll give the test third period, most recently their third period. After lunch, have you graded the test yet, Miss Smith? After pod, have you graded the test yet? Then we're going on our way into Minion the next day, going into the Ulan bathroom, girls' bathroom, run across some students in that third period class. Have you graded the test yet? I just want to pee in peace, people.
I have some emails that I've gotten this year. So here's one. Hey, I've been busy and I don't get the prompt. I don't get the information on Edline either. I'll come to you a pod and just turn it in late, okay? For a full grade. Thank you.
I was teaching Hebrew 7, and at the end of the class, I assigned them homework. I told them, okay, in the book, page 101, you need to do exercises from 1 to 10. The next class that I came to check the homework, I told them, okay, open the homework, open the book, and we will check. And I saw a student that didn't do all the work, and I asked him, where is the homework? And the specific student told me, Mora, but I did 1, 2, and 10.
I've had the this really isn't a meat, it's tofu, when clearly it's mom's best made roast beef.
So I had tests to hand back to my 8th graders, and I said, I'm going to hand them back at the end of class. But as always, they started harassing me, begging me to tell them who failed, did anyone get 100%, and I said, no, don't worry, you all passed, yes, someone got 100%. They started harassing me, who got 100%, demanding, who was it, who got 100%, and I just kept saying, I'm not going to tell you, you'll see at the end of class, it's about, 62 minutes from now, I'm not going to tell you who got 100%. And a student, let's call him Hack Jamlin, stood up and demanded that I describe the physical characteristics of the person who got 100%.
We have crazy things that go on our trips. I've had a 6th grader who refused to leave the bathroom and lay on the floor wanting her feet to be rubbed because it was too cold to go outside.
I sit here all day watching kids trying to figure out how to use a landline. No, it doesn't have a hashtag.
Okay, well here's another one. This is good. Okay. Hey, Mrs. Hanson. That's nice. Hey, Mrs. Hanson. My history test was impossible, and it's in your department. Can you do something?
In 6th grade, I gave a test on the book of Numbers, and I asked the question, how did God punish the Israelites for their complaints about manna? One student wrote, they didn't get to go to the land of milk and cookies.
Mrs. Hanson, print.
I get a lot of excuses from students telling me why they didn't turn in their homework, why they can't take the test tomorrow. Sometimes I believe them, sometimes I don't, but there was one case where I definitely believed what the student said because he basically told me, and I will spare you the details, that he couldn't take the test because he was on the toilet all weekend. And if you think that that is graphic, then you should see the email that he actually wrote.
So as you know, I have a strict no food policy in my room, and I get a little crazy when people have food. So one day I was making my rounds and checking on all the practice rooms, and then suddenly I looked in and a student had a mouthful of food. It was like, so I was like, oh no. So I opened the door, I'm like, what are you doing with that food? And they're like, it's not mine. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, I found it on the floor. And I said, oh.
I've had a whole room of girls watching me clean up sick and then deciding an hour later to tell me that there was more sick to clean up.
Hey, can I annotate in the book? Let me know before tomorrow. Sent at 10:52 p.m. Really?
I've had an ex-student who called his dad because he was so homesick and told him that he needed to be picked up from the trip, and if he didn't, it showed him that he didn't love him.
Okay, so when I first started working here, there was a lot of confusion about my name versus Dr. Eisen's name. So I got called Dr. Eisen a lot, and we'd get each other's emails, and it was a whole thing. So my second year, I decided I was going to go by Miss Berg, because that sounds nothing like Dr. Eisen, and I thought this was a genius plan. Unfortunately, some people still really felt the need to call me doctor, so I mainly blame Robert Goldstein for this. He started this whole Dr. Berg thing, and it spread. So last year for Teacher Appreciation Week, Robert wrote me a lovely card that said, thank you for keeping us healthy, because they not only think I have a PhD, they actually think I'm a medical doctor at this point. And then he went home and he made this, which is my face on the body of the doctor.
Hi, Mrs. Hansen. I looked at my grade and I don't like it. Can you tell me what's going on? I'm an A student.
I've had the excuse of being late when they're holding a Starbucks cup in their hand and blaming the barista on their slowness to get their latte ready.
Okay. I found a nice one. I found a really nice one. Listen, the beginning is so sweet. Okay, dear Mrs. Hansen, how are you doing? I hope you had a nice long weekend. I'm writing to tell you that my English test was really hard, and I'd like you to talk to the teacher about it. I also think you should probably talk to the teacher about rounding grades. I'm so close. If you don't do it, I'll ask Mr. Khan too. It was nice to see you yesterday. XO, XO, O.
So I guess this is what Dr. Berg looks like.